it's Teemu here. Welcome to yet another Vlogmas video, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about practicing guitar, and especially the time once I was as a student in Karelia University of Applied Science. I'm going to tell you how I ended up playing 10 to 12 hours during one weekend, and I'm also telling what are my thoughts about that kind of practicing at the end of this video. So yeah, I'm going to tell you what I practiced, why I practiced, and what was the outcome of it. So at first I have to tell a little bit about the background for this. This was my second year of the studies in that bachelor's program. So the whole program actually aims for me to be as an instrument teacher in a conservatory, which is like a college degree that you can get in Finland. That's, I think, was like the main goal of my studies. So I had to get like really wide approach of the guitar playing and to get understanding of it. So and before that I didn't have like the lower degree that really like gives you the good foundation for studying. I kind of like self-developed all that stuff. So the way how I started or ended up to being in this situation was I was having this exam. It was called, in my situation, it was called C4. It stands for a C instrument exam, and it was like the fourth semester, which is usually the semester is like half a year. So it was second year and the spring semester. And this was like the technical exam, or that's how we called it. I'm not sure if there's like an English word for it. So I have here the curriculum here, and I'm going to translate it to English. I'm sorry, you may hear some cars. So I had to prepare for this exam, and during that spring I was super busy. I had to prepare my own guitar exam. I was playing first 5 songs of my debut album. Besides that, I was part of this like huge I was part of this like music theater thing, where the improvisation was huge part of it. So I had to prepare for it and perform. I think it was like 1 month. I think it was like the April, and I played like 2 to 3 days a week there, 2 to 4, I'm not sure. And then I think I had to do the studies during the day, and then I also was part of a big band, so I had to practice that material as well. So I played a lot during that time. But yeah, I was about to have this exam, and because of so busy schedule, I managed to find a little gap where I had more time. I think it was like a week or 2. And then during that time I tried to get to know as much as possible, or practice as much as possible. But I think it didn't turn out particularly well. So I thought that, okay, I got that last weekend, it's basically free, so I'll just practice the whole weekend and just take a look what I have to practice, and then start rolling it. And I found the methods how to actually get to know this, and I'll let you know that as well. So what do we have in this curriculum? The first thing that we have here is the major scale, all modes of it, 3 octaves from the lowest note to highest note. And then we have melodic minor, 2 octaves in the same position, and then also the modes of it. So I had to learn different positions of the melodic minor as well. Then harmonic minor, the same thing, the first and the 5th mode. I personally love to use the 5th mode a lot. Then the most important like symmetrical scales, such as whole tone and diminished scales, in two scales and in the same position. Besides that, blues and pentatonic scales, two, and that's also 2 octaves in the same position. And for this exam there was like you played in the 8th notes, one fourth note is like 120 beats per minute, and then you can be able to play as like a swing 8th notes, and once you have like a metronome put to 60 BPM, and that beat is like a whole no, it's half note. Yeah, it's half note, which marks the 2nd and the 4th beat of the bar. And then besides that, like approach note sequences. And yeah, that was one thing. That's about the scales. For these scales I had this approach to actually say out the notes out loud, and while playing them on the fretboard on each position. It took plenty of time, but it helped me a lot to actually remember the notes of each scale on the fretboard, and I think afterwards that helped me a lot. So yeah, I basically used like a caged system, and also say everything out loud and play. That's how I learned my scales. Then we have the second part, which is chords and arpeggios. 4-note chord arpeggios, 3 octaves, and you know there's you can do different kind of approaches depending on which finger you started with it, and then like also presenting all the like wider notes than 4-note chords with a different 4-chord chords. That was kind of weird. But let's say you have like a 13 chord and what 4-note upper structure chord you can use for that. Something like that. And then jazz standard, harmonizing that and using those like 4-note structures in that. And also I think there's besides that 4th note chords in all those like scales of the major scale and the melodic minor, and harmonizing that scale on the top 4 strings. But for this I didn't really use. I just try to remember all those structures behind each one. So it was a lot easier for me to actually remember that. That took some time to actually go through it. And then I had etudes. There were four different etudes. I have one was a complete shred solo. I think it was No End, No Beginning by Poets of the Fall. Then I had the what else did I have? I had one bossa nova, like rhythm playing. Then one was like a solo arrangement, and I think I got the classical thing, the Paul Gilbert version of the D minor Partita by Johann Sebastian Bach. So yeah, those were my etudes, and then I also had to do a little like a improvisation thing, and so just play the whole harmony. Basically playing through the whole harmony of that jazz standards. So I picked up like a blue bossa and just played it. Played solo of it for that song, for that harmony. So you can hear the harmony once I solo. And besides that, there was like a free improvisation that was supposed to be like 1 to 2 minutes, and that was mainly like what that consisted of, like what we had in the curriculum. And I think there was a lot of work for that, and the way how I did was I always took one. I think I took like one. I always took one scale, played in the cycle of fifths, and then that way tried to get to know each of them. And I think I also made like a backing track that was like one chord that really presents the chord of the scale, and then moved it in the cycle of the fifths and played through always like the whole scale in one position, switch to next one, and that way get to know a little bit more the scale, get it in a musical way to the system. So yeah, I basically broke down everything what I had and then used like and built it to like 1 hour blocks. So I did like 1 hour of scales, then had a break, like 5 to 15 minutes, then did the chords, and then worked on the etude, and then to the next thing. So I think, yeah, I mostly like cycled through the whole thing over and over again and had a breaks. So in this situation the breaks were the key. So there was a lot of stuff to learn. I don't recommend to learning all this stuff a weekend before the exam. So I would recommend building up slowly a knowledge like this, and also keep it musical from the start. When it comes down to etudes, I think they were the ones that really caused me issues, and that's why I wouldn't recommend starting really quickly practicing hours, the amount of hours that I did, which was, I think the average time that I played before was like 4 hours, and then doubling it didn't really make sense. So yeah, I wouldn't do it again. I learned that it caused me issues with my shoulder, and that caused me, I think, my right hand become a little bit numb or something like that. So I wouldn't recommend doing it again. I think just finding out a little bit more time each day for practicing certain things would be more useful. So yeah, I hope this was really useful for you to actually see and hear what it was to actually study in a music school or in a like bachelor level, the music stuff and what I've gone through. So yeah, if you have any questions about practicing guitar playing, yeah, just let me know and I'll give you some kind of answer. So yeah, this was the Vlogmas episode 7, and thanks a lot for watching. Hit thumbs up, leave a comment, and see you on the next one. Goodbye.